Cortez.
I have friends that like
Come on, ladies.
First, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank you for sending in your experiences. I cannot thank you enough. I have the intention of writing this book. I want to get this information out to the public. Your experiences will be very valuable for helping that process occur. So anything that's going on, any changes, anything you think is valuable, please send it in. I'll keep it anonymous. I just would like to see it. I think it would be very helpful for the people so far.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Very good. Yes.
Were you doing anything special today? Because I was like buzzing extra special today. Was there something major going on?
It's like one person after another was taken through into this process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was physically working on them and also taking them into this process.
I mean,
It
it's
was
been like really energized all day.
Yeah, it was extraordinary. It was extraordinary. Thank you. I'm glad you did that. Very good, very good. Well, this is going to be a very good night tonight because we're going to cover quite a bit of different information. We have excellent news. Danny is going to tell us some really good news again, and I'll let him take over the first part of the class. I'll come back and take over the middle part of the class, and then Sandra, she'll finish the class with meditation. Okay, so Danny, how about if you give them the good news, okay? Take them through it.
Before we begin, I just want everybody to take a nice deep breath. And just get grounded. And I want to encourage you all to keep this breathing going, not just during meditation, but all the time. So breathe in. Nice long exhale. All right, before I begin, we're going to go over this statement together. So if y'all will just repeat after me. I am a child of the divine.
I am a child of the divine.
I am wonderfully made.
I am wonderfully made.
I am connected to every person, place, and thing in the universe.
I am connected to every person, place, and thing in the universe.
I give myself permission and allow myself to be prosperous.
I give myself permission and allow myself to be prosperous.
And have a successful, meaningful life with myself, others, and the divine.
And have a successful, meaningful life with myself, others, and the divine.
I'm at peace with myself and my environment.
I'm at peace with myself and my environment.
And enjoy the great opportunities for my prosperity on a daily basis.
And enjoy the great opportunities for my prosperity on a daily basis.
Very nice. Okay, so basically what Gary would like me to share with you guys is how I've been manifesting some great opportunities that keep coming my way, and also to talk a little bit about how I get past the times when it feels like there's a big wall in front of me and that nothing is moving. Sometimes it can feel very stagnant, and I feel that those are the times that we have to be patient and continue to move forward, continue to meditate, and to continue doing what we know, and just understand that everything is always in divine order, even when it feels that it's maybe scattered or stagnant, or even maybe feeling like it's regressing. And sometimes we just need to pay attention. Yes, stuck. That's a good word for it, okay? So I have been continuing with the meditation. I've made it a habit, and even on days when I'm in a hurry, or sometimes, maybe I might oversleep a little bit, wake up and rush, my brain still goes into the process. And even if I have to do it in the shower or while I'm driving, it's constantly with me. And I've noticed that it helps me keep me feeling calm. It keeps me feeling, even if a day is stressful, it just flows through. So there's that. But then as far as moving on bigger, so I know a lot of you know about the Toyota event that I had earlier this year, which was a great opportunity, which I do believe was also part of the manifestation. And as I've been putting anybody that's willing to help me, prosperity. Okay, for you guys that are new here, so earlier this year, Toyota called me. They found me from the DFW Health Coaches. They're presidents of which department, social innovations, or?
Yeah, Chief Social Innovation Officer.
So I got a call, and they were looking for someone to do a talk on stress management strategies. And so I got to do a workshop there, and it was amazing. It went very well. And they said they would like to have me for future events, and that I had their permission to use them as a new client, and I could use their logo on my website. And so that was great news, and it was very, it really lifted me up, and I felt just like, I was on top of the world. And then back to real life, and after a few weeks, I don't hear anything. But, in my mind, I'm understanding that they're in a huge transition. They're building this massive facility. There's people moving. Some people are losing jobs. There's a lot going on. So in my mind, I'm being patient. But, as you have it, friends, family, and people are like, so what's going on? Have you heard anything? It's like, well, no, but, it's like, just relax. So at the same token, I have this shoulder injury that went from bad to worse for a little while. It's back up. It's doing amazing right now. But again, all of this can bring the confidence levels down. I just kept going with it, kept moving forward. And we'll leave this for another day, but I can thank this shoulder injury because it's actually real. I've learned so much from it. And I've been able to look inward and see where it's coming from. And with Gary's help, we've been able to, really move forward in some areas that I needed some help in. So moving forward, again, so just last Thursday, I was in here doing a treatment room next door. And of course, it's a 20-minute treatment. And so I'm meditating. And as I'm meditating, I'm focusing on the people that hired me from Toyota. And, my broad spectrum of everybody that I bring in, but especially at this point, I was focusing on this one lady in particular. And showering her with gratitude, praising her, and everything that Gary's taught us. I did it again that night. And it just so happens that I've also been able to manifest other areas where I feel that all of my goals and the things that I'm trying to accomplish and the reasons why I feel that sometimes I might not be moving forward are the areas that are my weaknesses, such as marketing, business, just the things that are not my forte. These aren't things that's social media, stuff that I just don't really care to deal with. Okay, so I manifested a new partner, Ms. Jana over here. I'd say we manifested each other.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
And in doing so, she's taking over and doing all of these phone calls and marketing stuff for me to make my life a little easier, and because she feels that this message that I want to put out is one that needs to be spread. So she's helping me out there, and it feels like a divine business partnership. So I'm going to let her tell you how this news went down, because she called. She wanted to follow up with this woman that I hadn't heard from. So she called her on Friday and filled in as representing me and as booking, kind of like my new booking agent. Okay. So Jenna, will you quickly tell them what they told you, since it was told to you? If you don't mind, just please tell them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to work with Danny. I saw Dr. Berman probably about 2 weeks ago, and it changed my life. That's absolutely the truth. But I did his 12-week health.
6 months.
It took us how long?
It was a little longer than 6 months.
Okay, well, that was because I've run a couple businesses in my career and been very, very successful. But I also found out that wasn't coming from my spirit. So what is coming from my spirit is to actually, I actually work with my brother, and this is the polar opposite, and grateful, and it's endless where we're going. So I'm definitely going to be humble in all this, but it's
You're shining with it.
yeah, because it's coming from my spirit,
Yeah.
and that's what I understood. I'm great at other people's passions as far as businesses I grew on, but it didn't come from me. So this is coming from me. So we're actually neighbors, and I ran into him one day. And I was like, you know what, I want to try something different. And I remember I was going after his haircut because I have a hair salon. And so once I found out that he actually gets his haircut with a mentor of my brother's that I've known Cruz for years upon years. And so I was like, I need to see that guy. And sure enough, he wasn't at the park, across the street where I met him initially. It was at Walgreens. So that week I saw him at Walgreens. I was like, exactly what I was looking for, and vice versa, obviously. So the beautiful thing about this is that to be able to have a spirit partner is the most amazing thing that has ever crossed my life. And so I was like telling him, I was like, give me Toyota's information. Well, I need to email Dr. Berman. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, coming from my spirit, right? My hustler side saying, give me the number, let me do it. He's like, well, I need to send an email. And I'm like, okay, cool. I let it ride. And I talked to him through my spirit all week, right? So finally Friday, he's like, hey, I got that number for you. I'm like, cool. And so I guess he was putting everything into place and making sure he felt good about handing over that contact. And when he did, I called on a
Which I have to
Friday.
say was the day after I was really focusing on this person.
Oh, no, I'm
Carry on.
definitely, so that was a Thursday. And then that next day is when he chose to give me the number. And so I called, and I was like, hey, this is Jana, you know, I'm working with Danny, and I'm actually working to hook him up at other places, and I know, you know, we want you to be first priority. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I was just talking about him, and da-da-da-da-da. So the part that I want him to understand is it's not just, I'll give good phone, that's easy, you know what I mean? That part, winning her over quickly, that's the easy part, but the part that I want him to understand is just the day before, she said, well, you know, this was in June, today's October 1st, so that was like the end of September. She said, you know, we just got the green light to rehire him for the next year. So she already gave me the date, it was like August 5th. I'm like, oh yeah, you better give me some more dates, right? Because we're booking him up. So then she not only did that, she was like, well, you know, I also do a sister retreat, and I'd like to hire him for that. And so I was like, okay, cool, get that down. And then she's like, well, you know, and then also we have a newsletter that goes out, and I'd like him, we don't know if it's going to be bi-monthly or if it's going to be quarterly, but I'd like him to have a segment in it in every edition. Cool.
Wellness segment.
So yeah. Poor Danny. And so he has, we have a lot of things coming up. And then lastly, he's like, so do you think that when we actually get the facility there, I can hire him for like maybe a weekly or monthly course for all the employees? And I was like, I'm sure we could work something out. so that, I mean, but that's just Toyota in the past few days. I've had unbelievable things happen since then. And when go ahead.
How's this and the survey?
Oh, yeah, so they sent out a survey to everybody, and he got top notch. That was the best thing about the whole retreat. Oh, he definitely is back. But I think the part about the green light is it took 2 months for them to get another green light.
Yeah.
You know, you have to get the surveys back. So for that to be the absolutely day before, and I mean, she's telling us how to win over the chief social innovation officer. Like, go read her blog. I mean, just give me all this insider information. So I am thrilled, and I'm sure you're going to hear a lot more from us and him. So you are amazing, and I'm so grateful to be working with you. And there's nothing more to be working with someone from the Spirit. And it's kind of nice to know you got to get centered before you work together. So.
So again, there's some areas where there were times where it just feels like it's stagnant. So I mean, I just sometimes need to ride the wave. Again, thank God for Gary Berman, who has helped me out when, you know, times are feeling a little tough. This shoulder injury, like I said, got worse right after, and that did not help my confidence any whatsoever. It is since moving forward and progressing, and everything else is progressing. And since I've been focusing and realizing what it means to be working from the Spirit and staying there, I'm also seeing just on a daily basis the feelings of calmness, things getting taken care of, obviously moving in the right direction, and there's other opportunities that keep arising. Other phone calls coming in for local talks here in town. So everything is kind of moving in the right direction, but it all boils down to just sticking with this process and trusting it, because every one of us knows there's, you know, life always goes, you know, up and down, and sometimes there's things that we don't understand. They come into our way, and we just got to keep moving forward and understand that if we're serving our purpose, living our purpose, the prosperity is going to flow. So, yes.
Your first walk post is going to be for the BMW Health Agency
All right.
with the Toyota M1.
All right, I can do
Put
that.
that on the website.
That'll be great, thank you very much. And tonight, one last thing, so when we get toward the end of class with meditation, I'm just going to say it right now so that you're going to be leading meditation tonight, right? So when Sandra gets to the meditation tonight, we're going to use the sounds of Tibetan bowls. I'm just going to explain it right now so that Sandra can just do her thing. And so the sounds will be on while she is talking, okay? But this is to help your vibrations, and for people that maybe if you're kind of stuck in your head a little bit or you're having a hard time calming down, I've realized that this really helps. It helps to get you in sync. I've noticed it just gets you in sync a lot quicker. And so we'll have that on just so y'all know. It's the sounds of Tibetan bowls. If you don't know what that is, you'll find out. You'll find out shortly. Okay. So yes.
You said that you were going to give some tips on when you feel stuck.
Well, when I'm feeling stuck, I just keep having faith and trusting this process. I just stick to the meditations. I claim, I clear, and I just keep with it. And I know sometimes if I find myself down or if I feel myself thinking negatively, I know that it's just time to sit down and meditate or lie down and meditate. And that does it. So again, one of the big challenges for me lately is after a long day or a hard week, I can always count on yoga or my martial arts or some kind of working out, which is not available to me at the moment. So meditation is where it's at right now. And that's pretty much it. That's it. It's that simple.
Maybe that's why you hurt yourself.
Huh?
Maybe that's why you hurt yourself.
Well, I'm telling you, whatever the reason is, it's brought up a lot of opportunity. It's allowed me to spend a lot more time with Gary, which has been very, very helpful. And that is probably another big reason that things are moving along greenly. So thank you, Gary. And one last thing, I gotta just mention this for what Gary's going to speak about, I believe. So he wanted to mention some of the goals that I have right now, and what I'm working towards is I've been doing health coaching, transitioning from physical therapy to health coaching one-on-one for a few years now. Going into my 5th year, it's time to spread out. And so short term, I want to continue doing speaking engagements. I feel it's real important to spread this message of prosperity out to the world and to help people understand that life doesn't have to be so difficult, that we can be happy, healthy individuals. So I'm very passionate about that. And again, speaking to audiences, it helps the flow of keeping myself busy with the work I do, spreading this message. The next thing I want to do is work that I'm working on right now is to begin health coaching classes so that I can lower the cost and get it to a bigger group of people, so I can start seeing 10, 20 people in group settings, and also to have the experience and prepare for what's coming down the road. And looking into the bigger picture, is retreats, spiritual retreats, working on rejuvenation, everything from meditation, yoga, healthy eating in nature, but definitely on exotic beaches, somewhere maybe Central South America, that type of thing. And my big grand picture is my own version of a wellness center, my idea of what a rehabilitation hospital should look like, where there will be nutrition, chiropractic, acupuncture, massage, all of the above. I would like to see it with a gym-like area with yoga studio, the whole works all in one setting, and that's my big ultimate goal. But I'm going to do it in reverse order. Instead of working hard and building a wellness center, I'm going to just let the prosperity flow through all these other methods. When the money's there, then we'll just go right into
Wellness centers are expensive.
Going right into the wellness center. Yeah, so
Maybe Toyota will have it.
yeah, maybe, yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. When you get to the point of teaching health coaching, let me know.
Okay, well, yeah. I'm always teaching it. It just right now the classes are in the works. Mhm.
Okay, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. I'll send out an email so you all know somebody that needs that kind of help. And
Send it to me.
send it over to you. I'll send it to Janice. She's kind of covered. I don't have to worry about these things anymore. All right, so I'm turning it over to Gary now.
Yay, Danny.
There's a reason why I wanted Danny to tell you about what he's doing, and also I want to thank all of you, because you guys are the geniuses. I'm just a coach. I'm proud of every one of you. It's nice to see that all of this is moving. It's nice to see that the work we're doing does work. Otherwise, why would we be doing it, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, why do you think I wanted Danny to tell you about his ideas of what he wanted? Why?
Make sure everyone has their own goals.
Good, very good, very good.
Proof is in the pudding.
Pardon me?
The proof is in the pudding.
Proof's in the pudding, good, good.
That's also a step towards manifesting it.
That's right, very good.
It's a very, very powerful step.
Exactly, that's true. That's all good ideas. Any other ideas? Why?
Frequency in the room just raised.
Okay, okay, good, good. Any other ideas?
I have an idea.
Yes.
I think it's because I'm kind of experiencing it right now. I have some really odd things happening to me
Okay.
Welcome to the club.
that, you know, I honestly thought this was going to be a year out. It's happening so much quicker because of the messages that I'm getting, and they're not nice.
Okay,
And so you just have to really, truly just stay in gratitude the entire time. I have a lot going on,
okay,
and I'm just platinum, gold, silver is just showering
Good.
everyone at my brother, everyone, and you know, if people are, if they're talking about you that behind your back, that's because they are behind you. And so, there we go.
very good. Let's go back, and all of what you said is true, but I have a very specific goal in mind. Let's go to the sheet that was on your seat. Let's take a look at this. We've been talking about health, wealth, relationships, and time. We've been talking about this as to how this can improve our prosperity. While health, wealth, relationships, and time exist in three separate areas. Our brain, for our logic, our heart, for the emotions, and spirit, for the truth. Okay? Now, it's in all three of those areas. I wanted Danny to give you an idea of what he's going through and what he wants to achieve so we can use this to help all of us. Because we're going to use him as a test case. He was very kind to allow us to do this. Okay? In other words, my spirit is like a bloodhound. Your spirit is like a bloodhound. When someone gives me a statement, my spirit picks up that statement and is taking me to the truth. It's impossible for anyone to lie to you. It's impossible for you to lie to yourself. It's impossible for you not to know the truth. Once you really start working this area, it's like the bloodhound. I need a statement. The statement now will give me an element for me to examine, and my spirit will tell me the truth. Now, brain and heart may lie to me. Most of the time they will. Yeah, and the answers that you're going to get from them will be far different than spirit, but we're going to see that tonight. So let me go a step further. Danny, could I have you stand for just a moment here? Now, do you remember the gist of his statement? Do you remember the gist of his statement? What he said about what he wanted to do? Remember that? Yeah? All right, now, take a look at his energetic field for the moment. Okay? Now, look at his brain, heart, and spirit area. If you go back through his statement, and you ask for where does the truth lie? Is he saying it from his brain, from his heart, or from his spirit? Where did that statement come from that he was saying to you just a few minutes ago? Where?
Heart. Heart.
Okay, well, here. How many people say it came from his brain? And put your hand up. I mean, if you think that, that's okay. It's all right. Okay.
Is this pertaining to the goals that he has?
Pertaining to the goals,
Okay.
what he was saying. Okay? All right, so a few people said brain. Okay? How many people said heart? Okay? Okay. How many people said spirit?
From the spirit. I felt that it came from the spirit the way he spoke.
That's right.
Could
That's
we
right.
have more than one area? I mean, heart and spirit? as
It'll be
well?
one area.
Oh,
It'll be one area, at least for this case.
Okay, yeah.
One area. It was from the spirit.
Okay.
Okay, what he said was from the spirit. Okay? Now, when I look at the spirit, if I go to the secondary question I would have, suppose, because we're human, suppose he has a down day. Remember he talked about stagnation. Now, I'm sure all of us are going to go through stagnation, every one of us. I don't care how much we know, I don't care how far advanced we are, every one of us will go through stagnation. That was a great word that you used. Thank you. Stagnation. Now, when he's in stagnation, where does he go now? Obviously, it won't be the spirit, so it's either brain or heart. So you tell me, where does he go when he's stagnant, when he feels that stagnation? Well, okay, wait a minute. Okay, so how many people would say he comes from his brain when he feels stagnant? Show of hands. Okay.
When you say.
Okay, when he feels stagnant. Okay, how many people would say he comes from his heart when he feels stagnant? Well, congratulations, you're correct. Okay, it's from his heart. It's from his heart. Okay.
Don't you think you go to your heart when you meditate a lot, or
You could, but I found a lot of people that are actually in their brain.
really?
Yes, doing this. And it has nothing to do about whether they are a heart person or a brain person. It has nothing to do with that at all in this case. I'm finding an awful lot of interesting ideas following this concept right now. Now, you might ask, well, what's the big deal? Well, why is that important to know that about him? And obviously I'm generalizing to have you start thinking about yourselves. Okay? Well, there's going to be a vastly different answer that we're going to get from the heart that we'll get from the spirit. Okay? So, what type of answer will we get from the heart area? Well, Danny, would you mind? You can sit down now. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay? So, let's go back to these 4 characteristics that we've talked about: health, wealth, relationships, and time. All right, so let's suppose he was in a stagnant area, and he has to deal with this. It's going to be in his heart. What are the 2 primary areas that would come up first if this was the case? So, what you would do is you would take his statement. You would take his statement inside you. You would let your spirit now examine him up and down and ask your spirit to tell you where is the primary source of truth in this person. And it will go, boom, either here, here, or here, immediately. Because the spirit is really just going up and down, and it's gauging the truth, and it's looking at people outside and inwardly. It's amazing what you can do. Absolutely amazing. And I don't care if he was 10,000 miles away and you were on the other side of the moon, okay? It doesn't matter. We would still know what was going on. Okay? So let's suppose that he is in his heart. So let's go to the heart area that we have on the sheet. We have health, wealth, relationships, and time. So by imagining that you've got the bloodhound inside you, you would ask for which of those 4 items, health, wealth, relationships, or time, would be the primary truth item that would come up first that he would need to work on. Okay? Well, if I look at that, and I go to his heart area, okay, and I ask for the primary, it would be, boom, it would take me right into the time area. Time. That would be primary. Okay? That's what would come up first. Okay. Now, if I ask for the secondary area, it would take me, secondary area of truth, it would take me up to the wealth area. Okay. Now, let's go a little further. And I don't expect you to do this tonight, but I'm taking you into this, slowly into this, to give you an idea of what you can do as you experiment with this on your own. Okay? All right, so time came up first. If we go to the far right side, time is either in the present or past. If I go to a spirit and ask, what's going on, he's taking me to the past. The primary item that comes up in the time category is the past. Okay, now, so the issues he's dealing with in the heart area are not about the immediate issues. They're about issues that have occurred in the past. Am I getting my point across? Okay, now, so the secondary item that would come up, he said, was wealth. Now look at the wealth column here. Okay? Wealth is either about business or personal. Business or personal. So if I ask him now, like which of those 2 is the primary element of truth in the wealth category? Okay, primary element of truth. Yes. Yes.
When you say wealth, do you just mean financial wealth? I don't think
No,
so. I just want to be clear
no,
about
if you look
that.
at the wealth, it's business or personal. In other words, business could mean money, for example, or starting a business or something like this. The personal side could be, I want to enlarge the way I'm thinking. I want to give more to other people. I want to do more, have more human experiences. Okay? But if we go to the wealth, the primary area there would be personal. It'd be personal. Okay? So if we go to the his heart area, we're talking about he's living in other situations from the past, and that's affecting his personal relationships. Okay? So if he's talking about trying to achieve these things, he's not dealing with the situations in the present moment, in the moment. He's relying upon the issues in the past, and that's clouding the way he's thinking about people, places, and things that he's dealing with in the present time. Am I getting my point across? That's what comes from here. And that's why it feels like we're not making progress, because we're using old ideas, old issues to deal with these things. Okay? Making sense? Okay. All right, so let's go to the spirit area. Okay? Same four categories: health, wealth, relationships, and time in the spirit area. Okay? All right, so if I go to the spirit, primary area that comes up, primary element of truth, first is wealth. That comes up first. See how things are shifting? It's no longer time. Wealth comes up first. Okay? All right? Now if I go to the second area of truth, now time comes up second. Time comes up second. In this area, time is driving us. Time feels like we don't have enough of it, we're not making progress, and even if I do have enough, I'm going back to old ways of dealing with people that were never successful, and I'm going to continue doing that, and that's what this is trying to drive me to do. Am I making my point? Okay? Now if I go to the spirit side, the wealth that comes up now, okay, what do you think this is? In terms of his wealth, look at the categories, okay, under wealth, if we go to the primary item, is it business or personal? Now it's business. Now it's business. The spirit is saying, it's time to get to business. It's time to understand you're running a business. It's time to understand now this is not just about relationships, this is a business. Thank goodness you're in the picture. Thank goodness. Okay? Now the time factor means now. We're living in the moment. It's not going into the past. It's telling us, I have a business. I need to run this like a business. I need to think of things in the present time, in the present moment, and there's nothing from the past that's going to cloud my judgments. So I am not just a motivational speaker, I'm also a businessman, so I can achieve the type of wealth that I want, and that's not just money, but wealth and other opportunities. So now I can give away whatever I want, I can do what I want, but time is important. And every moment matters in spirit. Every moment. Now when you live from this area and you start removing those blocks, just like we did 2 weeks ago, and we start doing more and more of this every day, like Danny was describing, like we've been talking about, then time is important. Not to whip us, not to force us, not to prevent us from relaxing, but just to understand we're investing. We're investing our life in the things that we're doing. We have a mission and a purpose. And we must take that time and we must invest it wisely in the things that we're doing. Now, for you and the situations that you're going through and what I'm going through, you may have different ones that are coming up in different categories. It may be your brain that could come up. Okay? But you always got to compare it against what Spirit is trying to tell you. Because once you see how you've been driven, and this is the beautiful part about this, once you see the way you've been driven, because of the brain or heart, and you understand the stories it was giving, and then you go to the Spirit, and you allow the Spirit now to take over, it is so much easier. So much easier. Making sense? Does this make sense? Yeah? Yeah? It's amazing how this has been working. I mean, to see how the patients are improving, to see how they're overcoming limitations, and myself too, and to see how this is, how we can utilize this, this is magnificent. Magnificent. Now, how do you get to this point of looking at this chart to see where you are, and then going into the deeper elements of this where you can start with muscle testing? And hopefully, in later classes, we'll be able to spend more time doing this and figuring this out, so every one of us can do this and do this easily. But you understand what's at stake here. You understand what's at stake. Okay? Because now, when you have people that you're helping or trying to help, I don't care what their problems are, Now you can refer to this and you can explain to them right there and give them a very simple answer as to what's causing this, and then they can understand, how do I get out of this? They can understand this and do it easily. Making sense? Do you want to do it for another person and just see how it would work for someone else here? I'll leave it up to you. Yes.
When I was writing down my notes, every moment I meant to write matters in
Matters.
spirit, but I wrote M-A-T-E-R, which is Latin for mother. And that was like my own personal typo, but it really means every moment mothers
Right.
spiritual growth.
Right. And that's a great way of phrasing it. That's a great way of phrasing it. Ladies, you maybe you're not really understanding how much power you have in this world. Maybe you thought about other things, maybe there have been other ideas or other issues you've had to deal with. But the power that you have as women is phenomenal for helping this country and yourselves and your family and everyone else. And to do it more easily than you can ever imagine if we go through spirit. If we go through spirit. It is one of the great untapped resources in this country. Getting your energy into this country, because there'd be no more wars if your energy was in this. No more wars. No more wars. Okay? Things would be a lot more fair. And it'd be a lot nicer looking at you. Okay? I don't care how that sounds.
Sounds like a man.
That's right. I enjoy every bit of it. All right, but you understand though, you understand this is so important. Roger, the book that you asked me to read, please, would you stand up for just a moment? Would you give people the name of that book?
The Magic of Believing
Okay, Magic of Believing. Okay.
by Claude Bristol.
Yeah, what have you learned so far from that book?
Well, being somewhat stubborn, I have to have things hit me multiple times from different directions. And the one thing that hit me the most was he talks in there about your relationship with your subconscious mind and how your subconscious mind will go and execute whatever it is that you tell it to do if you very clearly identify it, if you have a visual picture of it in mind, and go. But there's a caveat. And the caveat is, if you're stubborn like me, and it tells you to do something and you don't do it, there comes a point in time where the subconscious mind says, screw you, I'm going to help you out. Bye. So, that really rang home to me. So for the last week, I have been reestablishing a relationship with my subconscious mind. I was supposed to meet somebody in Dallas today at a place that I'm not familiar with. There's a Starbucks or anything. I'm not familiar with the area at all. And so I said, okay, subconscious mind, go find a place where I can meet this person. And I just went about my business, and the subconscious mind told me where to go. I went there, I called her, she said, oh, that's perfect, I'm right near there. Stupid little simple thing. I had no idea where I was going. So that's the main thing. There's other things, I talk forever, but that's the main thing I learned, that the disconnect between the subconscious mind and why you don't get answers sometimes. And when you do get an answer, you're to unequivocally just accept it and go and do.
He was very encouraging for me to read that book, and I've read it. And it's a great book. It was written, what?
1948.
Okay. It's a great book. You can get it for what, $4, $6, something like that? on Amazon?
$4.99, half price.
Yeah, something like that.
What's the author again?
It's called The Magic of Believing.
Magic of Believing.
What the author is?
Clyde Bristol, B-R-I-S-T-O-L.
Now, there was one
Claude,
technique.
I'm sorry, Claude Bristol, I'm sorry.
Right. There's one technique in the book called the mirror technique, where you're looking into the mirror at yourself. Roger, can you take a moment to explain that, please?
Well, the eyes are the key to the soul. And so, in the mirror technique, he teaches you to, if you're going to give a sales presentation, if you're going to do a speech, if you're going to interact with somebody, go and rehearse it in front of a mirror, because that's how the world is going to see you. And that the more you do that, your inner self is going to reflect back to you who you are, and you're going to become better and better at it. And he points out that when you go into a room or in a meeting, pecking order is established by the power of the eyes. And as you work on the eyes, you'll be more highly respected, you'll be more thought of by the way you carry your eyes. But the point is that you can convince yourself you're something that you're not. But when you're looking in that mirror, looking in your eyes, and your inner spirit is looking right back at you, it can be very interesting. So I recommend it. It's a good sales technique.
Just to add to that, in combat, there's a Chinese concept called mak lik, which is the eye power. And you can not have to fight if your eye power is adequate with you knowing what you know, and these people will just leave you alone.
Very good.
Well, there's something on that too. If you go out in the wilderness and you're around bears, and you talk to these people that are really the experts on so-called interacting with bears, they will tell you that if you have a contact with a bear, you don't ever look them in the eye, but you look down and acknowledge to them that you're subservient to them, and the odds are you're not going to get attacked. Well, with me, I was saying, come on, I'm going to take you on, boy, I'm going to fight you. Come on, let's go. And of course, you're dead. So, that's what I learned. Okay, bear.
Our neighborhood, I
So-
respect it.
It goes across all platforms. It goes across the animal kingdom, the people kingdom. It's a universal.
Very good. Please.
You don't lower your eyes to predatory humans. It incites them. They smell blood in the water. You expand your body, you expand your spirit, you take up as much space as you humanly can, and you don't have to look them in the eye, but you keep your eyes level and keep moving. If you do anything but, they will attack you.
And since you brought this up, I don't want to get diverted too much, but no, this is important. No, you brought up a very good point. Imagine you could stand on the map of this country. You could stand on it, imagine this, and you can pick up the energy in this country. I don't care, include Alaska and Hawaii onto that map, okay? Now, we have brain, heart, spirit. This country is living, it's vibrant. Everything has a life. I don't care how, quote, inanimate it is, it has a life. What do you think we're presenting to the world right now? Brain, heart, or spirit? What are we presenting to the world? No. No. Russia is presenting the brain. Heart. We're in fear.
Feelings.
That's right, our feelings. We're in fear. We're presenting that, and Scott, since you've taught the martial arts and teach this, what happens when you're in fear?
You incite people to attack you.
Right. Right. Right.
Non-good people, obviously.
Right. One of the things I'm hoping that we can do, because this country needs help, and it needs help desperately, desperately. One of the things I'm hoping that we can do as a group is inject our consciousness into this entire country, and there have to be more people like us here, there has to be, so we can inject that consciousness in. They're going to pick up our energies, they're going to feel excited, emboldened, they're going to feel like they can do something, they may not know why, but somehow we're going to be able to stand up and take this country back because we've got a president who's a coward, we have Congress that are cowards, we've got to have people back in this country that want this country working like it was supposed to.
They're not cowards, they're evil. They have to be, because they would make a mistake in our favor if they were just cowards.
Well, I would like to think that they were cowards, and I don't doubt what you're saying either, but to me...
Not all.
Right.
99 point.
But I would like to believe that we can inject this in so we can start helping this country. And then we can branch out into the world. So that's ultimately where I want us to go with this. We need help.
One more comment.
Please.
One of the beautiful things of the book is sometimes with people I interact with, they're a little hesitant to endorse anything they think to be metaphysical, okay? And Claude, he counteracts that at the very beginning by injecting scripture at key places to nail his point home. And about the fear, he quotes Job, where Job says, "The thing that I have feared most has overtaken me." And so right at key points, he slams that right in there. So, some of these people that are a little not open to that, they can't really knock it.
One couple of last comments here, then Sandra, you can take over here. Okay. One thing is, I did do the mirror technique after I read the book, and I wrote down several things that I'm working towards. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I realized after saying it to myself several times, I didn't believe it. It was obvious. I didn't believe it. Even though it sounded good, I didn't believe it. So I kept saying. Like about 5 or 10 minutes passes, I'm still saying. Now I'm getting all pumped up. Now I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Now I can burn a hole into the mirror. So now I come in, I am supercharged. So I've got a patient waiting for me, and they're saying, "Oh, Gary, I can't do this, I can't do that." What do you mean you can't do this? What do you mean that, I'm sorry for that person, because this technique works. This technique works. It does work. Roger, that book is brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for encouraging me to read the book. I would encourage you to take a look at that book also. It is that powerful, and it does work. Final statement, okay? We all go through those downtimes. We know when we're in those downtimes because, very simply, we don't want to do what we know we should be doing. We don't want to take our supplements, we don't want to exercise, we don't want to do put another foot in front of the other. We're stopping ourselves. We are committing what I call sin, self-imposed no. Okay? I can't take credit for that. I'll use it. Okay, self-imposed no, because separating myself from spirit means I'm saying no. I'm saying no to spirit. Okay?
Right, so pretty, right in here too.
Okay, so when we know we're doing this, what's the solution? What do we do?
Self-imposed, yes.
Self-imposed, yes, but how do we get there? What do we do?
Practice.
Project that, that's right, practice, project that energy into that prosperity circle, put yourself there, whomever else, keep praising, put your gratitude into that energy, and let it work to get you back down into here so you can move forward.
50 Shades of Yes.
Very good, very good. So, am I being clear?
Yes.
This will help you begin to start tackling this in your own way, and you'll be able to start doing this on your own, and you'll be amazed at the information this is going to give you. And you'll be amazed at how this can help a lot of other people in the process. You'll be amazed, because it's working, and working well. Okay, any other questions before we turn it over to Sam?
I have a comment real quick. So we have the world's biggest eye contact experiment on October the 15th at Clyde Warren Park. So it's the world's biggest eye contact experiment. And it's October the 15th. It says there's already 1,000 people going, 1,100 people going. So
On the weekend?
Where?
yeah, it's a Thursday from 5 to 8. So, that's here.
Clyde Warren Park.
Oh, right.
Well, no, it's the day, I think Thursdays, I think.
Where?
Thank you.
So, yeah, if you want information, I'll get it to you.
Okay, just as a thought, if you can't make it, what could you do?
Do it at home.
Do it at home, and it doesn't matter what time you do it, you can project your energies into their consciousness, so everything meshes, and now we've amplified everything. So thank you.
I'll get it to you then.
Lee, did you have a?
When you were talking about the country,
Yeah.
another thing that the country needs to do in order to move out of this fear is to acknowledge the power of the divine feminine.
Yeah, the men are the problem.
Yeah, I agree.
That's not what
That's
I'm
not-
saying.
She punches me a lot, so.
It's a balancing that needs to happen.
Right, it's a good idea.
And it doesn't mean more women in powers, in positions of power.
Right,
It just means listening
right,
to wise women.
thank you. Thank you.
On that note, the Iroquois, I think, in the Northeast, when they went to war, the men didn't do that. It was the mothers and the grandmothers who decided when war was necessary. And then they chose the war leader, and they could fire him if he was effing up. So the mothers and the grandmothers decided, and the men got to do it, and they could pull the reins in at any time if they thought they were getting out of hand. So I think that would be an awesome way to run the country, because sometimes war is unfortunately absolutely necessary with stupid people. So.
Thank you. Okay.
Move your chair, move your stuff, whatever it takes to get in the mood.
Sharon, lean on you.
All right, let's start with breathing first. It's going to help get us into that mood. Remember how Marco helps us to breathe into these experiences? We'll begin by giving permission and allowing whoever is supporting us, it can be God, angels, Holy Spirit, Jesus, the universe, whatever you know is your support for your highest good. This support energy is going to help you achieve that prosperity that you know is yours to have. You're allowing that to happen right now. Also that we are using God's energy now. God's infinite, unlimited energy that's going to work on our behalf. Know that energy is available. Know that energy is working for you and through you. God's energy is working through each person, each place, each thing. And you're recalling forgiveness, praise, gratitude, see those people in that circle. See those places in that circle. See those things in that circle. God's energy is infinite, powerful, and it's for you and it's for them. And you are grateful. Keep breathing God's breath. As pure. God's energy is for us. Receive God's energy. Each and every breath magnifies the energy, the pure energy available to all of us. This energy is going beyond this room. Look at the faces of those who are with you. Shifts are being made. Changes in yourself and others are taking place. And you are so grateful. And so aware of God's perfect pure energy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. People, places, and things have been changed for the highest good of all. And let us all remember as we end this meditation that this is available to us every second of every day. Remembering that we can tap into this anytime we desire. We again are grateful. God's energy works for us and through us. We are part of the divine. As you wish, begin to come back to this room. Come back to this time. Knowing that you are changed. We are changed. The world is changed. Whenever you're ready, come back to this space.
Thank you.
That was really